Welcome to Business English Podcast. We're doing a deep dive today
A deep dive.
into how to talk about challenges on projects,
Especially in English.
especially in
Oh, well,
English for
skip it,
business. And we found this awesome podcast episode.
Yeah, it has real examples.
Real world examples, yeah.
And strategies.
Practical strategies.
Practical strategies. So it's really cool because it's not just about like fixing problems. It's more about reframing them.
Reframing them.
Yeah, like seeing those challenges as
Let's-
opportunities to shine.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Shine.
Yeah, and build relationship.
And move your career forward.
Yeah. So it's like you turn those problem meetings, the stressful ones,
Yeah.
into a moment where you can demonstrate leadership.
Ooh, that's good. Okay, so turning problems into opportunities. Where do we start?
Well, the episode starts with language.
Okay.
It really stresses using clear and professional language.
Mm-hmm.
That's also focused on solutions.
Okay.
So, for example, instead of saying we're stuck, right?
You could say we've hit a bottleneck.
Bottleneck.
How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds more in control,
Yeah.
even a bit technical,
Right.
which can be really reassuring in business.
Oh, that's so true. Because I remember this one time I was trying to explain a delay to my boss. And
Right.
I was like, and I wish I had a word like bottleneck.
Bottleneck,
Yeah.
exactly. And they even suggest using a little humor
Okay.
when appropriate, of course.
Right.
But using words like scope creep.
Scope creep.
Scope creep.
What's that?
That's when a project's goals keep expanding.
Oh, yeah. We've all been there.
It just keeps growing.
Keeps growing.
Yeah.
Okay, so scope creep. So it's like clear, professional, maybe a touch of humor.
Yeah.
But how does this change depending on who you're talking to?
Right.
Like, explaining something to your team
Yeah.
is different than explaining to a client.
Very different. And that's where the stakeholder symphony comes in.
Stakeholder symphony?
Stakeholder symphony.
Okay.
The episode really dives into this.
Okay.
That you need to tailor your communication style to your stakeholders.
Makes sense.
A client needs a different kind of explanation than, say, a technical team.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But how do you do that? That sounds complicated.
They break it down really well. They have this AAA framework.
AAA.
Anticipate, adapt, and align.
Okay.
So you anticipate what each stakeholder needs to know,
Okay.
adapt your message accordingly,
Right.
and then align. Make
Yeah.
sure everyone is aligned in their understanding.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah. It's like speaking different languages.
But still getting the message across.
Exactly.
That's cool. And it probably makes projects run a lot smoother too, right?
Oh, for sure. The episode cites some research. It says that projects are 2.5 times more likely to succeed when communication is adapted
Wow.
to the audience. Yeah, that's a huge difference.
That is huge. Okay, so we described the problem clearly and made sure everyone understands it. What's next? Solutions.
Solutions. This is where it gets really interesting. So the episode talks about how crucial the first few minutes are when you're presenting a solution.
Okay.
Did you know that executives often make decisions within the first 4 minutes of a presentation?
Wait, really? 4 minutes?
4 minutes.
Wow. You really got to make those minutes count.
You got to make them count. The rest is usually just justifying the initial decision.
Wow.
So the episode offers what they call the Solution Symphony.
Solution symphony.
It's a 4-part approach to crafting proposals that get approved.
So it's not just about having a good solution. It's about how you present it in those first 4 minutes.
Exactly.
What's the secret?
Well, one key point is demonstrating a deep understanding of the problem
Yep.
before you even mention your solution.
Okay, so like a doctor makes a diagnosis
Exactly.
before prescribing treatment.
Exactly. It builds credibility. Instant credibility.
It shows you've really thought it through.
Yeah.
You're not just like throwing out random ideas.
Exactly. And the episode goes on to explain, how to present multiple options. So
Correct.
you guide stakeholders to the best one without being manipulative.
Right.
How to anticipate objections.
Okay.
And even how to use storytelling
Ooh.
to make your solution more memorable.
Storytelling. That's interesting.
Okay.
So let's say we've presented our solution.
Right.
It's been approved.
Right.
What happens when we need to give progress updates,
Right.
especially if things are not going exactly as planned?
Yeah, that's a great question. The episode has some excellent advice for this. It's all about finding that balance between being honest about the challenges, but remaining optimistic about the solutions.
Yeah, because you don't want to like sugarcoat things.
Right.
But you also don't want to cause panic.
Exactly. So They suggest using natural language,
Okay.
being transparent but not using jargon
Right.
or overly technical terms.
That makes sense.
And then actually give you some practical phrases,
Right.
techniques
Techniques.
for framing the updates in a way that's both honest and reassuring.
Have you ever noticed how some progress meetings feel like everyone's just reading from a script?
Oh, yeah.
This advice could really help
Yeah.
make those updates more engaging
For sure.
and productive.
It's about having a genuine conversation, even when you're discussing tough topics.
Right.
And speaking of different ways of communicating,
Yeah.
the episode takes a deep dive into cultural differences
Oh,
in project discussions.
that's so important because what might be like direct and assertive in one culture
Yeah,
could be like rude
totally.
or aggressive in another.
Yeah, it gets tricky really fast.
Super tricky.
Yeah, and even things like silence and timing can have different meanings
Wow.
across cultures. So that's why they introduced this cultural context framework.
Cultural context framework.
Yeah, so it helps
Okay.
you navigate these differences.
Okay.
You adapt your communication style, but without losing the impact of your message.
So it's like becoming fluent in the language of problem solving.
Yes,
But across cultures.
exactly.
That's cool. So it's not just what you say, it's how you say it when you say it.
When you say it.
And being aware of those cultural differences.
Yeah,
Sounds like a lot to learn
there is.
from this episode.
And the best part is it doesn't stop there.
Oh,
There's more.
there's more. It goes on to these real world scenarios
Okay.
and shows you exactly how experienced project managers handle those high pressure situations.
Okay.
So imagine this,
Okay.
a project that's weeks behind schedule,
Been there.
an anxious client,
Oh, yeah.
a team facing unexpected technical hurdles.
Ugh. I don't even have to imagine it. I've lived it.
Right. So how do the pros handle that kind of meltdown?
Yeah. How do they do it?
They use a strategy called the solution cascade approach.
Solution cascade approach.
Dramatic. Right.
It sounds very dramatic.
It does. And a key part of that is the arise method.
Arise. Like a magic word.
It does sound like a magic word.
What is it? It stands for acknowledge, reframe, inform, solve, and engage.
Okay.
And basically it's about turning those tense discussions, those challenge discussions, into workshops
Workshops.
where everyone works together to find solutions.
Ooh, I like that. So it's not pointing fingers and blaming each other.
No.
It's everybody working together.
Everybody working together.
That's a good concept.
Right. And they actually encourage you to welcome those challenge discussions.
Welcome them.
Welcome them. To see them as an opportunity to show leadership.
Okay.
To build your reputation as someone who can turn problems into opportunities.
This has been an incredible start to our deep dive. I already feel more prepared to tackle those challenges.
Yeah.
But we've only just scratched the surface, haven't we?
We've got so much more to uncover. In the next part, we're going to explore even more takeaways,
Okay.
including the legacy effect,
Legacy effect.
the challenge opportunity matrix,
Oh,
and
yeah.
more.
You won't want to miss it.
You won't want to miss it.
Welcome back to our deep dive
Yeah.
into mastering project challenge discussions. We've covered a lot already, but there's still so much more to explore. One thing that really stuck with me from the episode
Okay.
was this idea of the legacy effect.
The legacy effect.
Yeah.
What?
So it's about how every interaction, every challenge you navigate contributes to your long-term reputation.
As a leader.
As a leader, yeah. So it's not just about fixing today's problem.
Right.
It's about establishing yourself as someone who consistently turns challenges into opportunities for growth.
So it's like building your brand as a problem solver. Someone people can rely on when things get tough. I can see how that would be valuable.
Yeah, exactly. Think about those leaders you admire, the ones who just thrive under pressure.
Yeah.
It's not that they don't face challenges.
Right.
It's how they handle them that sets them apart.
Yeah.
They project this sense of calm
Okay.
and control, even in the midst of chaos.
Yeah.
It's like they have this inner confidence that comes from knowing they have the tools and the experience to navigate any storm.
And that's what this episode gives you, a toolkit
Ooh, a toolkit.
of strategies
Oh.
and psychological insights to approach challenges with confidence.
Okay.
One of the most valuable tools is what they call the challenge opportunity matrix.
Okay. Another matrix. So many frameworks.
I know, right? This episode is full of them.
What does this one do?
So it helps you identify the hidden advantages within difficult situations. It's about shifting your perspective and seeing challenges, not as roadblocks,
Okay.
but as springboards
Springboards.
for innovation and growth.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Instead of getting bogged down by the problem, you're looking for the opportunity within the challenge. It's like when life gives you lemons make lemonade,
Exactly.
but applied to project management.
Exactly. And the best part is when you approach challenges with this solution-focused mindset, it becomes contagious.
Contagious.
Yeah. Your team starts seeing possibilities instead of problems.
So you're setting the tone for the whole project, creating a culture of resilience and innovation.
Exactly. And speaking of setting the tone, the episode also emphasizes the importance of creating what they call solution momentum.
Solution momentum.
Oh.
Is that like once you've found a solution, you just keep that energy going?
Yeah, it's about maintaining a sense of forward movement,
Okay.
even when there are obstacles.
Right.
It's about making sure everyone feels like the project is still progressing, even when things get tough.
So keeping that positive energy, that we can do this feeling, even when things get bumpy.
Exactly. And it's about celebrating small wins along the way.
Okay.
Those little victories, they can really help keep the team motivated, focused on the bigger picture.
It's like milestones in a video game. Each one gives you that feeling of accomplishment and keeps you pushing forward to the next level.
Ooh, that's a good analogy.
Thanks.
And speaking of milestones, let's revisit one of the most powerful concepts from the episode,
Okay.
the ARISE method.
Yes. Tell me what it stands for.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in all the content.
It is.
So ARISE stands for acknowledge, reframe, inform, solve, engage.
Okay.
And it's basically a step-by-step guide for turning those potentially explosive discussions into problem-solving sessions.
I like how structured it is, like a roadmap for tricky conversations.
Nice.
Break it down for me. What's involved in each step?
Okay, so first, acknowledge. That's all about validating the concerns and emotions of everyone involved. Showing empathy, creating a safe space for open communication.
It's like you're saying, hey, I hear you. I understand. We're going to address this together. That's a good tone to set.
Exactly. Then we reframe. So we shift the focus from problems to solutions. You rephrase the challenge in a way that highlights the opportunities.
Okay, so instead of dwelling on what went wrong, you're looking for ways to move forward, to learn from it and make things better.
Right. Then there's inform.
Okay.
This step is about giving clear and concise information
Okay.
about the situation, transparency, building trust.
So you're not hiding anything. You're laying all the cards on the table, but you're doing it in a way that's easy to understand.
Exactly. And once everyone has the information they need, then comes solve.
The solution.
Yes. This is where you present your proposed solutions,
Right.
but framed in a way that addresses the concerns from earlier.
So you're showing that you've listened
Yeah,
and that your solution takes those concerns into account.
exactly. And finally, engage.
Engage.
This is about getting buy-in from your stakeholders,
Okay.
making sure they feel heard, understood, and that they have a role to play in the solution.
It's all about collaboration.
Yes.
Working together to overcome the challenge. I can see how powerful this is. It takes a potentially negative situation and turns it into a team-building thing.
That's the beauty of it. The ARISE method is so effective because it provides structure and clarity in those high-pressure moments.
Yeah.
It helps you stay calm, focused, solution-oriented, even when emotions are running high. It's like a secret weapon for tough conversations. Gives you confidence to handle anything.
Exactly. And it's not just about individual conversations.
Right.
It's about building a culture
Of open communication.
of open communication
Yeah.
and collaborative problem solving
Yes.
within your team.
So people feel comfortable raising concerns, knowing they'll be addressed
Exactly.
constructively.
Which brings us back to the confidence spiral.
Oh, yeah, the confidence spiral.
Remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you consistently handle these challenges well, it builds trust and confidence
Within the team.
within the team. Yeah. People start to see you as a reliable leader, someone they can depend on when things get tough.
And that boosts your own confidence, too.
Exactly. It's a cycle.
A good cycle. Well, this has been another fantastic segment.
Yeah, it is.
I'm learning so much. Excited to see what else is coming.
Me too.
Huh.
There's still so much to explore, including some really cool insights into virtual team communication
Ooh, virtual teams.
and how to thrive in today's remote work environment. Super relevant these days.
Very relevant.
Can't wait to hear what the episode has to say about
For
that.
neither.
But before we go to part 3, is there anything from this segment that you really liked?
For me, it's the reminder that effective leadership isn't about avoiding challenges. It's about embracing them.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's about seeing those challenges as opportunities.
Yes.
To showcase our skills, to build relationships, and ultimately to leave a positive legacy.
And to have the tools and the confidence to navigate those challenges. Tools like Arise, frameworks like the Challenge Opportunity Matrix, they can really make all the difference.
They really can. Well, I'm ready to dive into part 3.
Me too.
And see what other insights await us.
Stay tuned. Our exploration continues in part 3.
Welcome back to our deep dive. Into mastering those, those tricky project discussions. We've talked about framing challenges, understanding stakeholders, even navigating cultural differences. But there's one more big piece of the puzzle we need to talk about.
Yeah.
Super relevant these days. Virtual teams.
Virtual teams, yeah. Leading and communicating when your team is all over the place.
Yeah.
In different time zones, on computer screens. It adds a whole new level of complexity.
Yeah, it does.
But the episode actually has some really good advice on this. How to make virtual communication work for you, not against you.
Okay, I'm all ears. What are some of the takeaways? I feel like with virtual teams, it's so easy for things to get lost in translation.
Yeah, for sure. And the episode talks about this. It emphasizes clear communication protocols and guidelines for virtual teams.
So like setting ground rules for how everybody interacts online.
Exactly. Like who to contact for what, preferred communication channels, response times, all that stuff. It's easy to overlook.
Yeah, it is.
And it's not just logistics. It's also about building relationships and trust, which can be harder to do virtually.
Yeah.
So they suggest things like virtual coffee breaks or team building activities to create that sense of camaraderie.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get caught up in tasks and deadlines and forget that there's actual humans on the other side of the screen.
That's right.
Yeah.
Those little interactions can really make a difference.
They can. And technology plays a role in all this too.
Huge role. Yeah.
The episode talks about using things like video conferencing, project management platforms
Yeah.
to keep everybody on track.
Exactly.
Right.
To keep that communication flowing. But with so many tools out there,
I know. It's
how
overwhelming.
do you know which ones to choose?
Yeah.
Well, they have some good tips on that too. Think about your team's specific needs
Okay.
and choose tools that enhance communication.
Right.
Not complicated.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Something that always trips me up with virtual teams is different time zones
Yeah.
and different cultural norms.
Yeah.
It's like this extra layer of misunderstandings just waiting to happen.
Oh, yeah. And it ties back to that cultural context framework
Right.
we talked about earlier. Be mindful of these differences,
Yeah.
especially in a virtual setting
Yeah?
where you can't really rely on those visual cues.
Like you can't see their face
Yeah.
or hear their tone of voice.
Exactly. What might be a joke to you could be taken the wrong way by someone else.
So be sensitive, patient. Take the time to understand where everybody's coming from.
Yeah. And I imagine written communication becomes even more important when you're virtual.
Oh, yeah, for sure. When you can't hear their tone of voice, every word counts.
Every word counts.
Mhm.
And the episode has some good advice on writing clear and concise emails, messages, reports.
Okay, I'm taking notes.
Mm.
I've definitely sent some confusing emails in my time.
Well, this whole deep dive has been fantastic. It's a good reminder that communication really is at the heart of any successful project,
Absolutely.
whether your team's in the same room or across the globe.
Yeah, and what's really cool about this episode is it gives you those concrete strategies and tools to become a better communicator, no matter what challenges you're facing.
So to wrap things up, what are some of the biggest takeaways for you?
For me, it's that idea of reframing challenges as opportunities.
Yeah.
That shift in mindset can really change how you approach problems and lead your team. I like that a lot. And I'm definitely remembering that Arise method
Yeah.
for those tough conversations. Such a clear framework.
And don't forget those virtual coffee breaks.
Yeah.
Building those personal connections is so important for any team, especially virtual ones.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive. I feel like I've learned so much.
Me too. It's been a pleasure exploring this episode with you.
And to all our listeners out there, we hope you found this deep dive valuable. If you did, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more discussions like this one.
Yeah, and leave a comment. Tell us what you liked. We love hearing from you.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, every challenge is an opportunity to learn and grow. See you next time for another deep dive into the world of business English.